knuckleheads, this is the most fun part of the job, being the loudmouth for the ACO, as I get to talk to and meet the coolest people in the world. One of them happens to be in a hotel room already in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Her name is Sue Hlavacek. She's the COO for the National Senior Games presented by Humana. I'm a Louisville boy, so I remember Humana, Sue. And really excited to talk to you about the National Senior Games and the first year the cornhole is going to be involved, and the ACO happy to be the one that spearheading that effort. But I tell you something, the more I've learned about you, were you born? I mean, sports was like, were you born dribbling a basketball? I think sports is in your blood from everything that I've read about you.
Yeah, sports been in my blood my whole life. I was the only athlete in my family of 5. And I had a wonderful coach in high school that kind of took me under her wing, and I've learned the game of basketball. Played volleyball, track and field in high school, and then went off to college, played both volleyball and basketball. And then I got drafted out of college to play professionally in the first women's professional league, the WBL. So I lived in Philadelphia for a little bit, and I played a little ball and came back, and it was the real world. So I became an educator, a teacher, and ended up being a professor and AD at a local college in the Cleveland area.
Well, and that's great. And you know, I'm sitting here in Cincinnati. You know, you're from Cleveland and had such a big impact on the sports commission in Cleveland and all the different coaching and really advocating for sports that you've done. It seems like a logical progression for you to now be the COO for the National Senior Games. It makes perfect sense that this is where you would find yourself, because it's really, I mean, it's all about competition, but it's all about healthy competition and fitness and sports as a lifeline and lifeblood.
Absolutely. You know, and the beauty of this is it's a multi-sport event for athletes 50 years and older. And we're finding that a lot of the women have never played sports when they were younger because their generation didn't have them. You know, if they wanted to play, they just couldn't. So we're learning that a lot of these first timers are coming in at the 50 years of age, and they're starting to participate in sports that they probably would have loved to have played when they were younger, and they didn't have the opportunity. So it's wonderful to see them get out fitness wise, socially healthy, playing the sports that they have loved all their life.
Well, and you mentioned 50 and older. We have participants from 50 years to 100 years old that do play. But when you specifically mention the women, it's interesting because cornhole is one of those sports that we've watched evolve as well. And we've started to see more wives and girlfriends who would travel to tournaments say, I think I can do that. We play in the yard. How about we become a co-ed team? Or how about so on and so forth? And we found that our mixed doubles and our women's division are our 2 fastest growing divisions, but not just in the older demographics. We're seeing lots of young women get in and be very, very good at cornhole as well. So it's nice. It's kind of nice to see a sport and have a sport that does allow for that youth movement, those young guns, if you will, both male and female. And, as you mentioned, transitioning into the senior games and never having been able to play at a younger age, it is kind of cool. And I mean, it's everything. It's track and field, it's cycling, swimming, running, pickleball, badminton. I mean, there's just a host of events. And cornhole this year, in our first year with you, I know this has been almost a decade in the making with you and Frank.
Yes. Yes, it has been. I met Frank back in 2012, and I was working for the Sports Commission in Cleveland 2013, and we tried to make it work as a demonstration sport, and it just didn't pan out. And I see Frank every year after that at conferences, and I said, Frank, we got to make this work. So we finally came together and came to a solution, and now we have it in our games, and we're very excited.
It is exciting, and it's one of those games where we talk about the opportunity for someone as young as 6 all the way up to 86 to play, and we have those players. But for the seniors in our group, the one thing that I found in the very first match that I attended and major that I attended here in town, I spent time talking with a lot of the seniors. Mike Schaefer, who's been a lifelong member of the ACO for 17, maybe longer years with 17 seasons, and a host of others. And I asked them why. They were the ones that caught my attention first. And it's the flexibility, the strength, the stamina, the camaraderie, the family atmosphere, all these different things. But from a fitness standpoint, you might think, oh, I'm just pitching beanbags around a backyard or a tailgate zone. But there really is a lot of benefit to cornhole as a fitness sport, especially as you get older and want to maintain your flexibility and your stamina.
Sure, absolutely. And I think it's a sport where we can get a multitude of athletes to participate in, because if they can't run a 5K or they can't do a 100-meter dash or a high jumper, they can do cornhole. There's still physical fitness involved. There's still that flexibility, but it's an opportunity for them to be an athlete in a new sport, and we're excited about it.
That's great. And again, my guest is Sue Hlavacek from the National Senior Games presented by Humana, coming up May 10th through the 23rd in Fort Lauderdale. The ACO and the cornhole portion of the games will be held between the 20th and the 22nd. I believe involving, we're going to have mixed doubles, men's, women's, singles, and men's and women's doubles with, I think, 150 plus players in year one, some in the 95 to 99-year-old range. Pretty exciting.
We're excited about it as well. And I'm so glad that Frank and I were able to work through this and have them be a part of our great experience. So I'm hoping everyone that comes to Fort Lauderdale will have a wonderful experience.
Oh, I feel certain. I feel certain that they will, and it'll be fun to watch, and it'll be fun to experience. And I want to talk just a moment too about you've known Frank for a decade, but you knew the ACO was the way to go as far as official sanctioning body of the sport of cornhole. Dealing with the legitimacy that comes with the ACO brand, the official rules that he established back in the day, 17 seasons ago, the level of equipment and all those things. Are all of those things and then some what brought you finally to the conclusion that the ACO was the legitimizer that you were looking for the NSG?
Absolutely. I've seen how hard Frank has worked over the last decade and what he's brought to the sport of cornhole. And it's exciting for us to see what he's done. And I think our athletes are going to have a wonderful experience for their first time playing cornhole in the National Senior Games. So yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think they do. And one of the things we're talking about is the standardization of equipment. I mean, we talk about the history all the time that, changing the bags from corn to the pellets, the synthetic pellets, that everybody uses different kinds of fill. And as long as it's that 1 pound square bag that fits the parameters that were set, then you're good to go. The stick side, the slick side, the Pro Series boards, all of the players are going to be playing on ACO Pro Series boards for the standardization of equipment. They're all going to be playing with these specially designed bags that we've created with our friends from Majestic's Cornhole. And this is their Diamond Series, Sue. And we've got a red series and a blue series. And these bags are very hole friendly, and they are a lot of fun to pitch with. These are some of the best bags out there and the best bags that they make. And to be able to put that on there and have them pitching these bags around again is going to be really exciting. So we appreciate the opportunity to standardize the experience, give everybody that same vibe and that same feel. And I really do. I think they're going to have a good time. And I think we're going to see this event next year. And I say next year, normally you'd be every 2 years, but we can talk about that here in a moment. But I think next year in Pittsburgh, is that correct?
You're correct.
Yeah. And I think we're going to see these numbers double or increase, maybe exponentially, as cornhole continues to be part of the National Senior Games. But let's talk a little bit about, we're here in 2022, Fort Lauderdale, and normally every 2 years, but going to be in Pittsburgh in 2023.
We're excited about Pittsburgh. We normally don't go back to back, but because of the pandemic, we are going back to back. So we were originally going to be in Fort Lauderdale in November of 21. So when the pandemic hit, we said, okay, we need to postpone this. So we pushed it to 22, heading to Pittsburgh next year. So we're excited to be back in Pittsburgh. We were there in 2005. So this is our first games where it's going to be a repeat city. So we're excited about Pittsburgh.
All right. Well, that's interesting for someone from Cleveland to say that we're excited about Pittsburgh and me sitting here in Cincinnati. But as a Steelers fan, I'm excited about Pittsburgh as well next year. So, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to being part of the NSG. I know the National Senior Games presented by Humana are going to be a big deal, as it always is. And I'm looking forward to seeing and feeling this, and seeing this through Frank's eyes as he heads your way very soon to set up and admin and run the tournament for you. But I'm excited to get a feel for the entire experience through his eyes and ears. And I want to, absolutely be there in Pittsburgh in 2023. But Again, Sue Hlavacek, the COO for the National Senior Games. Looking forward to being in Fort Lauderdale May 10th through the 23rd. ACO portion of it, the cornhole competition for men and women age 55 to 100 and then some, if you'd like, is going to be happening the 20th through the 22nd. Again, mixed doubles, men's and women's singles and doubles. It's going to be a great competition. And we do have a couple, how many? 3 players over 95 years old? Is that what we're counting right now?
I believe, yes, I believe so. Yeah. So we're excited about that. So.
Oh, that's going to be exciting. That's exciting. And I am old enough to qualify from a driver's license standpoint. But the last thing I want to do, I've already had my clock cleaned by a 7-year-old, 2 people's moms. And the last thing that I want to come down there and do is embarrass myself or any organization involved by throwing bags and accidentally knocking out a camera or something. So I appreciate the opportunity to have this exchange. I wish you guys all the best. Sue Hlavacek, the COO of the National Senior Games, thank you so much for your time. And boy, I'll tell you what, we look forward to getting to Fort Lauderdale.
You bet. Thank you so much. Appreciate you speaking with me. Take care, and we'll bring back some winners for you.
Keep on pitching.
All right. Take care.
Right. Thanks, Sue.
All right. You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
ACO, we are corn.